Staying on top of that breaking situation in South Florida this morning, in about an hour, police and rescuers plan to update the media on that bridge collapse that's already killed 6 people.
And right now, Stephanie Suskind is in Sweetwater, Florida, with what else we've learned from overnight.
We're right on the FIU campus where you can see part of that collapsed bridge right behind me, right by that traffic light, the flashing lights from the law enforcement surrounding that area. And we just got an update from Miami-Dade police telling us they've now confirmed 6 people died in this bridge collapse. 1 of them died at the hospital. Now, this collapse happened yesterday afternoon. We know that there were at least 8 cars trapped underneath all of the rubble, and it really was a rescue mission at first that has turned into a recovery mission overnight. Here's how Miami-Dade police described their next steps.
We don't know what obstacles are going to cross our path as we're continuing the progress. So there could be machinery, there may be an obstacle, there could be they may run into something that may slow them down a little bit. So it's hard to say how long this may be. However, we are trying to work as quickly as possible, obviously, but then again, we have a scene to preserve as well.
Now, Governor Rick Scott pledging to hold people accountable if something was done wrong here. The NTSB is here. They'll be investigating every bit of this. Of course, the big question, how and why could this have happened? We know this bridge, part of it just put in place on Saturday. The community was celebrating it. It was supposed to be a way to keep pedestrians safe to walk across this busy road. But of course, a very different story that we're talking about now. The next update expected sometime after 9 o'clock this morning. Reporting at Florida International University, I'm Stephanie Suskind. Back to you.
A murder suspect is dead after a standoff with SWAT officers. Police surrounded Matthew McGinnis's home on Rural Hill Road yesterday morning, where he refused to surrender. According to officials, 4 officers went inside the home and found McGinnis holding a gun to his head. McGinnis shot himself as an officer fired a round at him. The TBI is investigating. Detectives believe McGinnis shot and killed his girlfriend, Nicole Stevens, sometime last weekend and left her body in a shed outside her Madison home. Her body was discovered Monday night by her son.
New information coming in overnight in a shooting that sent a woman to the hospital. This happened at 25th Avenue North and Mary Street in Nashville. Now, just a few hours ago, we learned the woman was standing outside her home when a man began firing gunshots at her. One of the bullets grazed her leg. She was taken to the hospital. Her car was also hit by gunfire. The shooter ran off.
Metro students taking a stand, saying they don't want a group of disruptive students to define their school. And we showed you video of students ripping down an American flag at Antioch High School and teens jumping onto a police car. Well, yesterday, a group of Antioch students took matters into their own hands to make it right. The band joined other students and school leaders to raise a new American flag and honor the 17 lives lost in Parkland, Florida.
So it felt really prideful just to see the flag be raised again while the band was playing the national anthem. You can still be proud that we still did it the correct way, even if it's a day late.
Metro police are working to identify the students responsible for the disruption.
Metro School Board members are demanding answers this morning following a surprising $7.5 million shortfall. This comes just days after board members and parents blasted Dr. Sean Joseph over the budget. In a letter to Metro Auditor Mark Swan, the board requested an immediate audit of all spending for the current and previous fiscal year. Dr. Joseph also has some pretty controversial changes for next year's budget. He says he's set to lay out those plans and his budget at his annual State of the Schools address, which is planned for later this month. A Mid-State high school basketball coach put on leave, and now parents and students, they want some answers. Metro schools say Whites Creek High School boys basketball coach Carlton Battle was put on leave late last month. Basketball team members say it stems from an incident at a tournament in East Nashville Magnet School after a parent who is angry that his son had been removed from the team confronted Battle and punched him. Teammates say Battle hit the parent back, but only to protect himself and students. Parents say they haven't heard any official details from Metro schools about why Battle is gone.
I think it was a great disservice to the team. We still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. We really don't know what happened.
Well, we asked Metro schools for an update on this situation. We haven't heard back from them just yet. Well, this is a very exciting possibility. Nashville could be one of a handful of U.S. cities to host the World Cup soccer games.
That means people from all over the world would come here if we make the cut. Yesterday, the list of 23 potential host cities in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico was released. Nashville was one of them, along with Seattle, Atlanta, and San Francisco. Nashville submitted more than 500 pages of reasons why we should host the event.
To be on this short list and the other cities, we're in real good company. You talk about cities like Miami and Washington, D.C. and L.A. We're, if not the smallest, we're one of the smallest, and we're certainly one of the least likely.
We're told a shorter list could come out later this month. We want to know what you think. Head to our Facebook page right now and vote in our poll about whether you would want the World Cup in town. 8 teams will battle it out at Bridgestone Arena today for the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
It's like all basketball right now, and that's where we find News Channel 5's Sophie Nelson-Colding this morning. Sophie, it's a busy day for basketball right here in Music City.
And you know what, Amy and Adam, these teams that are playing, a lot of them are within driving distance. So you can expect a lot of them, plus their friends and family and fans, to come down here to Nashville. The plaza here is definitely going to be packed, as well as Broadway behind me. And then, of course, the stadium, Bridgestone Arena, is going to be bustling later. It's actually starting at 11:30 because that's when the doors open for these games. Let's take a look at the rundown. Session 1 starts at 1 o'clock. Georgia State plays Cincinnati. And then after that game is up, Texas will play Nevada. Session 2 starts off at 6:20. That's the Game 3 tip-off with Texas Southern versus Xavier, the #1 seed. Florida State then will play Missouri after that. And there are still tickets available for people who want to come out. It's a beautiful morning out right now, but I'm sure it's going to be packed later, not with just these games, of course, with all of the festivities this weekend. If you're planning to come down, make sure you have a way to get home so you don't get caught up in traffic or get caught drunk driving. Live on Bridgestone Plaza, Sophie Nelson-Colding, News Channel 5.